is your confession, my son?
Well, I've done a few of those sins you lot keep talking about. I've cheated at McDonald's Monopoly. I've never bought a WinRAR license. I've also done a few murders. Quick question, is telling kids to put glow sticks in the microwave a sin?
Let me check. Let's see here. I think so, yes.
Well shit, I thought Jesus might be down with that. Oh, I own a copy of Postal 2 and intend to travel to New Zealand. Is that bad? I guess it is bad. Oh, what's happening, fuckers? I'll keep this quick, because I've got cleaning to do. Today we're taking a look at Postal 2, a game where you are a normal man doing normal things. So, let's get into it. Postal 2 is a first-person shooter, immersive public urination simulator, and as alluded to previously, a one-way ticket to a Christchurch prison. In this game, you play as the Postal Dude, a totally normal and well-adjusted man, as he goes about completing errands throughout the week. These range from buying milk at the shop, returning a library book, to delivering a present to the 1993 Waco siege. These innocent errands lead to interesting situations, like being attacked by Islamic terrorists, getting into a shootout with Gary Coleman, or being dressed as a gimp in some pervert basement. Unlike most first-person shooters, Postal 2's missions can often be completed without killing a single NPC, though they are so smooth-brained they often don't notice when you do. This presents the player an interesting choice. Either go about your tasks like a normal human being, or playing the blood and viscera of the innocent, like a slightly less normal human being. To this end, the game offers various weapons for the player to indulge their sadistic habits, both conventional and outright bizarre. The game even offers a bolt-action rifle, for those of you wishing to pull off epic trick shots. Postal 2's greatest asset, funny chainsaw aside, is a level of freedom it gives the player. Tasks can be completed in any order, and with no set time limit, it leaves you to decide how to approach each thing. Do you speedrun your way through in the most efficient way possible? Do you take your time finding out what stupid shit you can do? Or do you ignore the task completely, and instead piss on a donut, and watch the police eat it, like some kind of sex pervert? Combine this with a decent-sized game map, with hidden secrets around every corner, and you have a title with solid replay value. Ultimately, what makes Postal 2 work well is that it understands the kind of dumb ultra-violence that it is. Despite the developers, running with scissors, insistence that the game is, quote, only as violent as you are, the game knows what people will do, and plays into it. Melee weapons and explosives feel fun to use, and the way the NPCs jump when using certain weapons is both amusing and satisfying. It's perhaps the pinnacle in pure unrestrained dumb fun, and makes you wonder how much of a war criminal the Red Cross would now consider me, given half the shit I've been doing. I do have some issues with Postal 2, though they are generally the result of this being a PC title from over 20 years ago. The most obvious of these issues would be the loading screens, and how fucking many of them there are.
Another one.
While they aren't that long, about the same length as your favorite TikTok, the amount of times you go through them each day, they get annoying real fast. I also felt the game's various guns lacked a real sense of weight, and weren't as satisfying to use as the melee weapons, but that's probably because I had a kind of bloodlust that only a baseball bat could satisfy.
Yeah, you're all gonna be doing that.
Another issue I had was with its stability. While not as outright broken as other games from the period, I had a number of issues with glitches and crashes during the main story. Whether it was the game dying after shooting the guy in the laundrettes, like he's the fucking coconut peg in TF2 or some shit, or spawning in with weapons disabled, and instantly being subjected to police brutality. The highlight of these problems was when the game shat its pants completely, to the point where I had to hard reset my PC, after making the fatal error of kicking a bottle of malt liquor.
And a gun of malt liquor gives you.
In terms of presentation, Postal 2 is definitely a game that shows its age, though is not without its charm. Offering a decent level of environmental variety, Postal 2 does occasionally look quite nice, even when the game's textures sometimes look like this. However, the game's interiors often look and feel quite empty, creating a weird, somewhat liminal effect in some places. The greatest example of this would be this toilet outside the bank, which perfectly encapsulates the feeling of a British public toilet. Hopefully that'll be a category at next year's Game Award. The game also has a somewhat limited soundtrack, and what little music the game has is pretty decent, if a bit basic. Whether it be the little jingle inside the local shop, the soundtrack when you open the map, or the one random house where a random song plays really fucking loud. What few tracks the game have are pretty nice. This limited soundtrack places greater focus on the game's sound effects. These are high quality, and managed to make up for the somewhat limited soundtrack, though that's maybe because I like the funny sound the chainsaw makes. Overall, Postal 2 is a thoroughly enjoyable title, and one that has aged surprisingly well. While perhaps not a game for the easily upset, or the Europhobic amongst you, it is a unique gaming experience that delivers in both gameplay and dark humor. Anyway, I'll be off now. I finally cleaned up the dead priest. You'd be surprised how hard it is to get blood out of hardwood. Anyway, since you've stuck around this long, would you please sign my petition?